Do you know that I was on Broadway when I was a kid?
Really?
I do.
And then I was fired from Spring Awakening. I never worked again.
Oh, I was going to ask about Spring Awakening.
Wait. How old were you when you
Talk about peaking.
when you were fired? Like
I was 17.
No, wait. What was Broadway was first when you were a kid?
Yeah, I was 14. I was
you were in
14. I was in A Christmas Carol at Madison Square Garden. Honey.
Wow.
Ever heard of it?
I have.
Yeah.
I mean, Russell,
was
not to
the-
brag, you just auditioned for a Christmas thing.
Yeah, it didn't go well. What?
It was F. Murray Abraham.
Okay. I was gonna ask who the
And then
Scrooge
Jim
was.
Dale.
Oh, I don't. Who's Jim Dale?
Jim Dale, he does a bunch of stuff. He also kind of
name sounds
notably
familiar.
recently was the voice of the Harry Potter books.
Okay. F. Murray Abraham. That's exciting.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was that cool?
It was so cool. It was the best time ever.
And you were...
I was
who were you, Tiny Tim?
14. No, I was his brother. And young Scrooge.
Oh,
Young
that's
Scrooge.
cool. That's
you
a
were
good
young
track.
F. Oh, wow.
Yeah. When they go back in time and he works in a factory and he's still nice.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then I sing a
And she's
letter
like-
to
she's like-
my dear sister fan.
And is that the one where the girlfriend's like, pay attention? You're like, I gotta work. Is that?
Yes, but that was like he was a teenager. I was a little baby boy.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that went well.
That went great. I did that for 2 years. It was incredible.
And then when was
my
Spring
voice
Awakening?
changed. And it all just started falling apart.
And suddenly you were competing with F. Murray Abraham.
Yeah. My voice changed. It just all kind of fell apart. I couldn't really sing anymore. And I wasn't like a great actor. I was a very good singer, but then I certainly wasn't.
But wait, it changed and you
goes
lost
bad.
the ability to sing?
100%.
But I thought, like, when I think of singing now,
I know.
part of it's, it's your breath. It's your ba-ba-ba.
I think some people get through it and then other people don't. And I also think the way that I was singing at the time didn't help me get through it.
Sure.
So, yeah, it just didn't happen.
Oh, my God.
Didn't make the leap.
So...
But then I got lucky and I booked this thing.
You booked Spring Awakening.
Spring Awakening.
Which, the original?
It was off Broadway at the time.
Oh, my God. I didn't know it
Yeah.
was... So this was Leah Michelle in it
before
already?
Everyone.
Everyone.
Oh
It was
my
like everyone
God.
and me, and then it was everyone except me.
Oh,
It was so
holy
bad.
shit.
Tell me what happened. Tell me the story.
I just wasn't ready to be working, and I
17 is so young.
It's very young.
13 was even younger.
Sure.
Yeah, it was because what I should have done was just never sang ever again. And I didn't know that. So I just kept trying and I get this job and I know that it's an exciting job and
You
I'm
sang
excited
for
to be
the audition,
there.
I assume?
I did, but I think I did a pretty terrible job for most of the auditions. And then by the end I was like, I think I could get this. I think I might get this.
What was your song?
Well, okay, it was when Broadway was turning into like pop rock world.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, I don't know what to sing. I like Broadway stuff. That's what we're doing.
Sure.
So now I have to sing, and we have to figure it out. My mom is trying to make me cool and make me sing pop rock. So I started with like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
But I'm like barely a tenor. I've got really nothing left. I sound really awkward, and I sang "Jumpin' Jack Flash," and it was just so whatever.
Who made that? Who is that? Do you know that
The
song?
Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, the first one was horrible. I got a call back. I genuinely thought it was a mistake. I was like, really? Me? Okay. I went back. I did
You had
another.
blossom though. You were looking good. You were handsome.
No, I was awkward.
You're awkward.
I went from being a very cute kid to now being like a very,
Well, that show, they're
very
looking for
pubescent teen.
Yeah.
Kind of like,
Yeah, but sometimes a little awkward.
Yeah,
I mean, they're
yeah,
awkward.
yeah.
I mean, sure, I was cute enough, but it was, it was a tough time. It was a tough time. Eventually, by the time I get the song that I had to sing in the show, I was like, okay, I can get away with singing this, but I'm not like flexible. I'm not like ready to work.
Which song was it?
It was Word of Your Body.
Oh my God, that's a sexy song.
Yeah.
You know this?
It was really amazing.
I've
It was
heard
an
the music, but I don't
amazing
know.
experience because that show is so incredible, and I got to learn it before so many people.
Yeah.
And it was very cool.
Yeah.
I remember like learning the music and being like, "This is unbelievable. This is such beautiful music. I can't believe like what we're getting to say. All this stuff. It was so cool." And then I would like sing it like during rehearsals. I would come home and I would just sort of absentmindedly sing the songs, and they're very sexual in nature.
Oh, yeah.
And my mom would be like, "What did you just say?" And I'd be like, "Oh, I forgot that I was singing this crazy thing." And basically after 3 weeks of rehearsal, it was like imposter syndrome, but it was real. And they found the imposter and they got him out.
Could you? Okay,
Really?
so
Wait, how many weeks?
3 weeks.
So in rehearsal,
That's a lot of weeks, though.
I was so stressed every day.
Are you singing together? And
Yes.
Leah Michelle's giving a little like.
My song was fine.
Uh-huh.
I could sing only my song because I practiced it at home.
Sure.
So I could sing only my song exactly the way I was supposed to, just like that. But then if they wanted to change anything or give me a different part or go try this or change this, I'm like,
Oh yeah.
I was like, I can, but I need 3 days and I need to do it alone.
Sure.
Like it felt, I felt like Hannah Montana or something. And I was like, I was going to get outed.
So you did 3 weeks of rehearsal. Any shows?
No. We took a hiatus and then we were going to come back from hiatus and then the show was going to start. And then in between the hiatus and that.
They replaced you.
How did you tell me how you felt? How did you
Yeah.
find out?
Oh my. Okay. So with how we found out was I got a phone call from my manager at the time. She called my mom and she's like screaming. And she's like, did Jared get fired from Spring Awakening? And my mom was like, what? You tell us. What are you talking about? And she's like, there's a breakdown for his part right now. And we're like,
Oh,
I don't know.
come on, gang.
So there's a breakdown for the part, and I'm in high school, and I'm just like going to school, and I'm like, okay.
Oh.
And then about a week later, I get a phone call from the stage manager, and she was like, so we get back from hiatus in like a few days, and this is your call time, and we're rehearsing, and this is where you got to go. And I'm going, all right, sounds like
They're
I didn't
seeing
get...
what else is out there. They're not
Yeah.
even firing you
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So after that phone call, I thought I was good. And then the next day, I get a phone call, and on my home phone caller ID is the director's name.
Oh man.
And I see it, and I'm like so spooked. And I pick it up, and yeah, he's just like, "I'm so sorry." And it was just like
Wait.
I didn't hear anything he said after that. I was just like, "Oh my god!" And I just felt so bad. And then the first thing I thought was, my mom is going to be so mad when I tell her, which is so crazy because of course she wasn't. But that's how you just feel. That's how you act,
Sure.
And I'm getting fired, and it's taking him forever to do it. He was being so sweet, and he was really trying to be a professional, and he was saying. I've been fired before, and it's like you get kicked out on the road, or you don't even find out you get fired until you see, you know what I mean? So they went really like they did a very nice service to really like. I got separate phone calls from different producers to it was because everyone knew that show was going to be what that show was.
Yeah.
So they just knew, they were like, this is going to be you're going to have a bad year, and they knew it.
I fairly recently, did a workshop of a show and got that call from a director.
Yeah.
But what's so funny is, and it was, I don't want to say too much about the show, but it was fine to be like, oh, I don't feel like it's a good thing, and who knows if it'll go forward. But he called to be like, we're going to be looking at casting other people potentially as we move forward. If it moves forward. But what's so funny is he made the call. He called me directly. I was like, why is he calling me? I answered the phone. I was like immediately feeling like this is what this call is that.
Yeah.
And he spilled coffee on himself right at the beginning of it. So he goes, hi, Russell. I wanted to call and talk. Ow! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! I spilled coffee on me. And then I had to deal with him dealing with that for about a minute before
3 more times over the phone call. I need to tell you something. And it's really
before he said, "Hey, we're gonna look at other people." And it's gonna happen the whole time, but you're like, "Okay, man, can we speed this part up of the process?"
That's the sketch.
Yeah.
That's great. I
That's
do
the
like
sketch.
that.
But
Audio sketches are tough, but that's.
Oh my God! Oh. Anyways,
We're gonna let you go.
We're not gonna.
Yeah.
So how did you deal with? I haven't had a scenario like that. My little sister had one with. She was gonna be Lady Gaga's one of her dancers on SNL at the Tom Hanks episode.
Oh wow.
And she Friday night, the stage was smaller than they thought, so they cut it down to 2 of 4 dancers. And it wasn't just that. I mean, that's bad enough.
Yeah.
But then those 2 dancers went with Lady Gaga to Japan, the Super Bowl, and the full tour. Yeah. And this was this would have been great.
Yeah.
Do you remember
Oh my God.
were you
I moved into the city for college where I wasn't supposed to go because I thought my career was over, but it wasn't. So I'm not going to the prom. I'm not going to college. Thank God I can continue my life as I thought. And then I didn't. And then I moved into Manhattan, New York City in New York State and I just watched the show be the biggest hit.
Oh,
it was on every
brother.
subway car I was on. It was on every cab I drove by me.
Like pictures of the guy who replaced you specifically.
All of it. I remember.
What's his name?
His name's Gideon Glick.
Uh-huh.
He's extremely talented.
Yeah. No, we actually tried to book him for today.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And like, did you ever see it?
I never saw it. No, I couldn't.
That would be.
Oh, of
too
course.
I
hard.
couldn't see it. I couldn't see it.
That would be so awkward.
I couldn't do it.
If you ran into Leah, would you go,
We,
Leah?
I don't think we would really remember. She wouldn't remember. It was this was like so long ago.
Yeah,
and it was only
yeah.
a few weeks.
I would never forget.
Yeah. Oh, God. It was tough. It was really, really
That's
tough.
really
That
tough.
really
Yeah.
is
It was
brutal.
just everywhere. It was just I couldn't get away from it. But the one solace was I felt like one day at lunch in my freshman in college at a school I don't want to be at. I'm going up to my dorm to eat my lunch alone because I'm sad. I'm like, why am I here? What do I do with my life?
Yeah.
And in the elevator, this guy gets on singing "The Bitch of Living," and I'm just like, I literally cannot get away from this. But I also chose to go to school in Manhattan. I just felt like the saddest woman in the world, and that felt like a crown. It really did. Like
Oh,
it felt
really?
like I literally anytime a moment like that happened, I was like, this is what they make movies about. I felt like I was watching Grey's Anatomy at the time. I really related to Meredith, like how she was like the saddest woman in the hospital, and
Yeah.
everyone's like staring at the car crash, and her friends are like, "Stop staring at her. She's having a hard enough time. You leave her alone." Like I felt like that was the one thing I could have was like, well, I don't think anyone's sadder in New York City than me.
Do you
Yeah.
feel like having done so much professional work as a kid made you? Do you look at people, who have been in the industry since they were in their early 20s or mid 20s and go like, oh, I know something even deeper than you guys about this thing?
Yeah, but it's yes, yeah, I do. The short answer is yes, but it's not good.
What's the
Like
reason?
I feel like when I started
Should we
doing
get
stand
out?
up, I was so happy and really grateful to do it. Like it was so fun, and I was pretty lost for a long time, and I didn't know what to do. And but I had a lot of like fear about like pursuing this industry and pursuing performance, and I've been fired and never worked again. Like it feels very bad. And then to kind of like walk back into that willingly of like that possibility and feeling fearful and feeling like people could tell I was fearful, and you're supposed to be really confident and you're supposed to be like really strong. And
Did you leave after Spring Awakening?
No, I tried for like 2 more years, could not get a job. Could not get a job. And then after 2 years of trying and failing, I quit.
Was it like
I'm
a
like, you can't
moment?
fire me, I quit.
Did you say I quit? You
Oh,
called your
I had
agent?
like one last audition in like Midtown when I was like 19 for a musical, and there was just all these Spring Awakening reminders at the audition.
Yeah.
Because like I think they're like a year had gone by or like 6
Sure.
months had gone by, so everyone's contract was like up. So they were all
People were on the phone like, oh, my mother who bore me. Someone else has
Yeah.
totally fucked.
yeah. But like all
Leah
the
Michelle's tit pops out somewhere.
all the actors were looking for work now. So I'm at this audition with all of them. And I'm like, oh God. And then like I'm bumping into like the director, I'm bumping into the actors. I'm like, I walk into the actual audition and the guy I'm singing for is wearing a Spring Awakening shirt.
You're
and I'm
like,
it was so
oh my
it was I could not get away from it. And then I sing my little song and it was so forgettable. And I feel terrible, and then they're kind of looking at their notes, and for whatever reason, I like look behind me, and on the wall behind me is the biggest bug I've ever seen in my life. It kind of looked like a praying mantis, but it also looked like a roach. It was this big black bug, and I see it, and I'm like, oh my God. So I turn back to this table of people, and they're like, they don't notice it, and they're like scribbling. And I was like, hey guys, there's a, and then when they all see the bug, they start screaming. They jump up, this whole table of gay guys screaming. And in all of that commotion, I just left. I was supposed to stay and finish my audition and do the sides, but I was just
Oh
like,
my
get me
God.
out of here. Get me out of here. I don't want this anymore. I don't want to sing anymore. I don't want to see Spring Awakening shirts anymore. I hate this.
And as you left, you realized you were the bug.
Yeah.
That sounds like
Yeah.
what's that author where the guy turns into the beetle? the famous
Oh,
guy.
yeah. I don't
It
know.
just
but
sounds like
yeah.
one of those kind of stories of
Yeah.
just.
I mean,
Wow.
I knew it was like even in the moment I was like, I'm living in a story. I really felt it every single day, and the romance of that was the only thing that got me through having to live through it.
Yeah.
Because what I actually wanted was to be in the show and like to be, succeeding and feeling good about that. So yeah, it was just and I walked to the park, and I got to the park and I sat down and I was just like, just cry and you'll feel better. Just sit here and just cry. And I couldn't even cry, and I was so stuck in it. And I called my manager at the time and I was like, no more musicals, just no more musicals. And he was like, okay. I don't care. Bye.
Yeah.
And I was like, great.
I have an announcement to make. Okay.
Yeah.
Should we call the press?
Yeah.
Deadline.
Yeah.
So that was it. That was the end of it. That big fucking bug. And I just never went back.
You're listening to The Downside
The Downside.
with Gianmarco Soresi.